Hi, fourth grade and scientist. I hope you're having fun with science because I'm having fun. So, yesterday you were supposed to answer the question, could a volcano pop up where we live? Well, I don't know. What did you guys think? I read a few suggestions and you guys came up with some really cool ideas. So, we're going to explore this a little bit more in detail. We need our goggles. And I'm also going to use Mystery Doug today, too. So, could a volcano pop up where we live? I like this little volcano guy from Moana. I think that's what that's from. But we're going to watch Mystery Doug, and he's going to explain a little bit more, and then we're going to get to the bottom of this and get a little closer to the truth. So, sit back and enjoy. And I want you to think about it as he's talking about these things. Does this information go with your prediction of a volcano popping up, or does it not? So let's see if you were on the right track. We'll see. All right, Doug, tell us all about it.
Now, there's something else I should tell you about the area where Dionisio Pulido lived. Earlier in history, people had recorded other volcanoes that had erupted in Mexico, like here, and here, and here, and over here. These volcanoes are all pretty close together. You know, they almost form a line. I'll call this a pattern, since it's like you could connect the dots. Now, as of right now,
That's interesting.
you don't know why volcanoes are found here. But with our pattern, it's like we could predict where another volcano might form. Like, look at this gap here. This spot is right in the middle of the pattern, between two other volcanoes. So it's not crazy to expect another volcano to form here. Sure enough, that's where Dionisio's town of Paricutin is located. A volcano formed there in his cornfield, which seemed kind of shocking, but when you look at the bigger picture, it really makes sense. It's part of a pattern. So, could a volcano erupt where you live? Well, surely all of the world's volcanoes aren't just over here in Mexico. But where are the other volcanoes? Suppose we had a list of all the volcanoes of the world, and we mark them on this map. Do you think maybe we'd see an even bigger pattern?
All right. So in class, we would have done an assignment where Mystery Doug has us map out all the volcanoes in the world. Obviously, we cannot do that because, well, we're not all together. So what we are going to do is kind of jump ahead, and we are going to pretend that we had done this in class. So you would get a chart, and this is a chart of North America, and you would get all the volcanoes and you would mark it. We would bring all these papers together. So each group would have a different continent. One would have North America, one would have South America, we'd have Europe, Asia's together, and then we'd have Africa on a form also. Okay. We would take all of these forms together and bring them together. Okay. So we obviously can't do that right now, but we're going to kind of speed ahead and pretend that we did that in class. So la 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 la, we're all getting partners, we're all doing the activity. So now let's go to the next part of this. So if we were to bring the maps together, we would find something like this. And so Mystery Doug is going to tell us a little bit more about what this means and why I have this like fire sitting right there, okay? So Doug is going to explore it a little bit more. And in class, again, we would have brought all these posters together. So here's like where we would pick up in class with the posters, okay?
When you brought your maps together, you saw something like this. Maybe you noticed that you could kind of connect the dots between the volcanoes. This pattern, this line of volcanoes around the Pacific Ocean, this is one of the Earth's major features. Scientists have a special name for it. It's called the Ring of Fire.
Whoa.
We call it this because it forms a kind of circle of volcanoes around the edge of the Pacific Ocean. It resembles a ring, or you might say it's more of a horseshoe.
And he didn't put this on here, but right in this area here is the Ring of Fire, and in this is actual ocean. So this is your Pacific Ocean, and then here is where the United States is located, and this is California right in this location. And remember in the earthquake video, we had talked about how there was a fault line there also. Okay, so I just wanted you to realize where we're at. So here's North America, California is here. We're about right in this area here. And then this is your Pacific Ocean, this whole area. Okay, all right, take it away, Doug.
Shape. But horseshoe of fire just
Mhm.
doesn't sound as great. Now, we didn't have your class put every single volcano on Earth on the maps, because that would have taken hours. But even when you add the rest of the volcanoes on the map, like this, do you see how the Ring of Fire pattern
Mhm.
still stands out? 75% of the world's volcanoes occur in the Ring of Fire. Why? Why do so many volcanoes occur in this ring? Well, there are scientists who travel to volcanoes to figure out answers to questions like this. They're called volcanologists. They have some ideas, which you'll learn more about in the future.
So, if you are fascinated by volcanoes, there's actual jobs that you can do that you can go out and explore these. I mean, I think it would be a very dangerous job, but I find it very fascinating. I think it would be cool to be out there. And you can see they wear special type of suits and gear when they go out to explore the volcanoes.
Sure. One important thing to notice is that volcanoes always occur in clusters or groups. There hasn't ever been a case of a volcano just popping up in the middle of nowhere on its own. There's always a group of them. Even the volcanoes that are outside the Ring of Fire are in groups, like these volcanoes here that form Hawaii. So, could a volcano pop up in your backyard? You have some ideas now. It seems like it's going to depend entirely where you live. If you don't live along one of these patterns of where volcanoes are found, like the Ring of Fire, it seems like the chances are probably a volcano is not going to erupt in your backyard. But if you do live along the Ring
Yes,
of
no?
Fire, it's not out of the question. It happened to Dionisio Polito in Mexico, and it's happening right now in other places. Let's zoom into the United States. Notice that in Southern California, right here, there aren't any volcanoes, but there are lots of volcanoes north of there and south of there. So could one pop up in Southern California? Well, let me show you something interesting. Even though there aren't any volcanoes in Southern California, there is this. It's about 2 hours from Los Angeles, near the Salton Sea. It's boiling mud and steam rising out of the earth. Mud doesn't normally boil, so scientists believe that there's lava that's under the surface, causing things to heat up. So far, nothing has happened, but a volcano could erupt in Southern California one day, just like in the cornfield of Paricutin, Mexico. Could it happen to you too? Are there any volcanoes close to where you live? Have a look at this map and discuss.
All right, I just want you to think about that. Could a volcano actually happen where we live? I want you just to kind of take that in, and he's going to explain a little bit more. But remember, I said we are located around in this area here. So take in everything that Doug has said to kind of form your opinion. All right, we're going to continue, Doug. Thank you, Doug.
Let me show you one more surprise.
Oh,
A
a
surprise
surprise. I
in
like
Virginia,
surprises.
USA. Obviously very far from the Ring of Fire, which is off 2,000 miles away in this direction. And yet, look at this rock that I found on a hill in Virginia. It's the same dark color as the lava rock in Paricutin. In fact, we could hold the two side by side, and you can't even tell the difference. This rock from Virginia sure looks like basalt. But how could that be? Virginia isn't in the Ring of Fire. So could there really have been lava rock there? When we were talking earlier about the Ring of Fire, we were talking about active volcanoes, volcanoes that still erupt lava. But look again where I found the rock in Virginia. Do you see this hill back there? Well, it's not just a hill. It's a dead volcano. Scientists call this an extinct volcano, meaning a volcano that doesn't erupt lava anymore. But at one point, in the ancient past, it used to erupt lava. Grass has now grown over it, and most people driving by would have no idea. Underneath the grass, it's all basalt. So even if you don't live anywhere near the Ring of Fire, you can find extinct volcanoes and lava rocks all over the globe. It might even be possible for you to find a piece of lava rock near where you live. Maybe a volcano once erupted in your backyard, but it was just a long time ago. Give it a try. Go out and explore. See if you can find what you think might be a piece of lava rock or basalt near where you live. Have fun.
You know what, Doug? That is a really good idea. I would encourage you to go out there, but please don't ruin your parents' backyard or your front yard or your grandparents' yard. Just make sure you ask permission. All right, so let's look back at this map. So here's our ring of fire. Doug told us a whole bunch of stuff about where they're located, why it's located here. So I have a end of mystery worksheet that I want you to fill out. So before you fill out this end of the video worksheet, you have something else to do. But wait, there's more. Thank you, little baby, for helping me out there. So I want you now to get your science book and I want you to read pages C20. Here's your science book to C25. It goes in more detail about volcanoes that you may need to use that information to answer the next question. So you will get an assignment that looks like this. After you've watched my video and Doug's video, again, thank you, Doug. You're so helpful. I want you to fill out these questions. Now, you need to use information from those videos to help defend your answer. So when you look at that world map, where are most volcanoes located? He told us a lot about where they were located. So I want you to talk about, like, what's that all about? Well, why might you find lava rocks so far away from the ring of fire? Doug went into detail about that. He explained to you why those were there. And then the last one, is it possible for a volcano to erupt where you live? Now, you can actually have some information from Doug to help defend your reason. Before, when you did it yesterday, you were just thinking on your own. Well, now you have some scientific evidence to help support your answer. So when you are writing these answers, I do expect you to have responses that go along with the video from myself and from the wonderful Mystery Doug. So fill these out, submit them to your teacher, and I can't wait to see if you still think or don't think about the volcano erupting and popping up in your backyard.